And we are live again. What's up, everybody? Let me do a quick sound test. Let's see if the sound is working. In the beginning. Check, check, check. Checkity check. In the beginning. Yes, sounds good. So it should work also here. In the beginning. Yes, cool. So, haven't sketched today. This is where we left off yesterday. Super excited to go back into sketching mode, but before that I would say again a quick warm up. Just to warm up myself a little bit with some lines. I hope every one of you joining today is good. Had a great day or start in the day in whatever time zone you're in. So let's make the first strokes for today. And warming up a little bit. Some boxes in perspective from different angles. To get into that rhythm of sketching. Cool. So to do these first couple of sketches here in perspective helps just a little bit to warm up myself a little bit. And yeah, always keep the brain active to think in perspective. Because later when we're sketching storyboards or whatever, it's super helpful to have that more intuitively in your mind, in your brain, like a 3D program. So just sketching here a couple of random heads, nothing special, just to warm up a little bit. In a second we go back to run cycles, do a couple more of studies, learning from the animator survival kit, get that practice in, increase the complexity. So let's sketch a key position of a walk. Not thinking too much right now about my line quality. Just warming up. Maybe also slowing down a little bit while sketching. I tend to sketch a little bit too fast. Let's make that body leaning a little bit forward. That's also something to keep in mind when sketching a person running, that the body leans a little bit more forward. And with an X indicating where the knee is, to have a little bit more an easy time to keep the proportions right. And with these lines here we're indicating what is behind the body and what is in front. And let's do one more and then we're jumping into the animation. And that's a position where both feet are off the ground in a run cycle. Cleaning that up here a little bit. Cool! And again, something I like to mention, to work with these diagonal shapes here. I mean, we have them almost everywhere. Helps a lot to simplify the body. For the legs, a diagonal shape. For the bottom part of the leg, you could do it even more extreme. For the foot. So these diagonal shapes helps simplify the body, especially when animating. It's a handy trick to use. Cool, so let's jump into the animation. That's what we did yesterday. So we finish with this one and sketch the first half of the walk cycle. Before that we did this one. This was also the little one where we explored. And yeah. Cool, so let's do a new layer. And start with a new one. And get that practice in. Maybe I will jump today. Let's see how long I will stream into more complex run cycles. Or we just keep with studies from the animator survival kit. Until we feel confident to move on. So that's our leg behind the body. The drawing has, it's not in this stage that the drawing looks perfect. More to get that movement right. And also to build a little bit that muscle memory with animation and getting simple things more intuitively into the brain, like the different key positions and the basics of animation, how we time out things so we can build on that and do more complex scenes in the future. So that's our first contact position. Now again we go over it and mirror what's in front. and behind the body. And I'm also, so today is the 3rd day in a row where I'm streaming. And I'm super curious about this new schedule I'm trying out. For now only for this week. But then also, let's see if I'm going to do it also the next week. But to see if streaming can also become more something intuitive. So to sketch and stream at the same time. Curious about that. I feel that it's more easy already after 3 streams to sketch and explain at the same time. So let's see how it is after 20 more streams in a row. So here we have contact number 1, contact number 7. Cool, now let's do the passing position. And we're doing it without the onion skin. I'd like to practice that also. Now this leg here is coming forward. It's a little bit too big now, this leg, in comparison to this one. But let's see. Now let's do the middle arm. And the other arm here, behind the body. And we have the contact position placed on frame. Oh, the passing position. So there's a concentration lacking. Cool. And again, to see these 3 key drawings coming in place and the animation again comes to life like yesterday. Great feeling to start in the stream. If you have any question, let me know in the chat or any observation. Happy to share this or to see together how this animation evolves. Cool. We have contact, passing contact. Then now we're doing the down position. On frame number 2. And again, we will not use any Or I like to use only the onion skin in the beginning to place the head, but then try to do it without the onion skin. And to animate without the onion skin also helps to see where the animation, what is happening, and to think more about what we're actually animating. And to get a feeling if the animation is working or not while animating it. So the legs look okay, and the foot also. No, now we're doing the arm that is going a little bit down. Let's change the angle a little bit. So this angle here in comparison to the next position is not the same, but changes a little bit and goes a little bit more down. So it feels a little bit more natural, the animation. And we have the down position. Now let's do here an in-between. On frame number 3. Just a little bit more here up. And the animation slowly comes together. So we're here right now. Now this leg bends more, or bends less, gets a little bit more straight from that position to that, so we're in betweening that. Let's do it a little bit longer. Upper leg, part of the leg. think the list looks okay, and now the other leg comes here. And this one here is behind the body. Clean it up a little bit here. So that looks cool. So this is an in-between. Contact down in between passing. The head is a little bit too small, but the animation in itself, I think it's working good. And the character starts to run. And even we didn't add any up position or any position where both feet are off the ground, and still the animation is working to some degree. Of course, we can make it better and improve it, but it's also fascinating to see that even without any key, all the key positions, so contact, passing, down and up, the animation is also working. But of course, if like playing like that, there is a brain still. If I'm looking at it, I would say, okay, a position is missing, or we're jumping a frame here. Yeah, so then let's add the next one, the up position on frame 5. And again, we're also only sketching in the head, and the rest we're doing that flipping back and forth in the animation. And now this leg here gets straight and extended like that. And now it's pushing up, and also this leg here goes a little bit higher. A little bit longer, I would say. So the character starts to run. Now this arm here moves a little bit forward. And the other arm starts to come out here a little bit. So we have the up position here in frame number 5. And now what's missing? Frame number 6, where both feet are off the ground. And we're going again a little bit down with the head. And the rest we're doing by flipping. If you have any question, let me know in the chat. Happy to help or to explain something that maybe it's not clear. So, let's do the next one. And now this one leg here goes off in the air. I feel like the upper part of the body is a little bit too small. So let's do it again. Get a little bit more wide. Maybe that is better. I think so. And now also this leg here going in the air. And we're getting that smooth walk. Cool, now let's also add the arms. And we have frame number 6, where both feet are off the ground. So we have the first half of this one cycle here. And it's working good. I would say something to that we could do better for the next run on the future is if we only look at this arm here, from frame to frame, here, 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 and here. And now we look at this arm, here, 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 and here. So in these positions from the passing 5, 6, 7, the bend or what's happening in terms of motion of the arm is super similar in comparison to what's happening here. Here we have a more circular movement, and in every position the arm is moving a little bit more to a different position. And I feel like here it's a little bit too stiff. So this arm here is doing the same thing at too many drawings. So I think depends also how you're running, but I would say to have more variety in there is something that would make also the animation a little bit more believable and less stiff. But other than that, the leg movement and the whole movement in general, I would say is working good. Cool. So we do a quick break. Thank you for watching so far. About 5, maximum 10 minutes. I don't think so long. And then we're going into the next animation. If you have any question, let me know in the chat or any observation. Happy to have that exchange with you. And then see you in a second. And we're back to animate the next run. So let's go and start it. Also, to set yourself shortcuts, for example, I put on, for example, let's see it here. On 1 and 2, I can go back and forth frame by frame, or from drawing to drawing on a point, and what's called in English. In German it's called Komma, but I don't know how to say it in English. But there I put to go also like just choose two on your keyboard, 2 letters or symbols next to each other, where you can go back and forth frame by frame. That's also helpful. Then also one drawing to drawing. Then yeah, and these shortcuts are mainly the most shortcut I use. Then I use also, I think, go here. Yeah, on the letter N, I have so I place a new layer for a new key position or a new frame I want to add in my animation. And yeah, to have these shortcuts just help while animating to be a little bit more quick and have a nicer workflow. Just to share that also. So let's do the next one. Also, I'm starting from the animator's survival kit. Especially these basics. It's super helpful to use that book and learn from it. If you haven't checked out, you definitely should. Great book. And now this one has a little bit more comic proportions. So we get that first contact position. Now again, let's do the other contact. And it's also, you don't always have to do it in that order, like contact, then passing, then down. You can also start with the down position or with the up position. Different workflow depend also what kind of run you have in your head. Maybe you have your up position first in the head and then you're going to explore first that. So there is no right or wrong on anything. just steps that can make your life while animating more easy, and other workflows that can be more difficult, but that's also different for everyone. Some prefer it in a way like that. Others like to start in the contact position. And for me it's also finding out what I enjoy. So to try out everything is a good idea. So noses leg here is in front. And this leg here is behind the body. Great. And I'm also super excited after covering more these basic fundamentals to at some point go into more complex animations and also maybe into fighting scenes and being more extreme with different angles, with camera shakes, with smears, like you see in all kind of animated movies or animes. I'm definitely excited for that. But to start with the fundamentals when learning a new craft, it's always super important to have that in your portfolio, because that balance also when animating something or telling a story is crucial. To have more speed, more fast scenes, but also then calm scenes, and to be able to animate both is very valuable in the long run. Okay, so let's place it on frame 7 in my timeline. And now we're adding on frame 4 the passing position. And again I will do it by flipping back and forth in the animation. And also of course looking at the reference. So this arm here goes there. And we have this leg here. It's going behind. And this one here to the front. Maybe something like that. And the other arm here goes behind the body. The body. The body. goes behind the body. So, that's what we're having here. Looks fun. That is for sure. Passing position. And when I'm also flicking back and forth, I'm also watching each crucial component of this animation. So I'm watching at this leg and following it. What is happening with this leg? So it's going from here to here to here. And when I'm flipping back and forth, I'm watching if the animation looks solid, if it's working, or if I did a mistake. And that is also what I'm doing with this leg, watching it going from here to here, and going back and forth and seeing everything is looking right. And that is what I'm doing with each arm, each leg, hip, head, to set for seconds these focus points and seeing what I could improve, if it's working or not. And then if I'm happy, I move on. So just to share my thoughts while flipping back and forth, and yeah, you don't think I'm crazy. Like what? Why is he flipping so back the animation so many times back and forth? That's a process. And I think also with more experience, you're quicker. You check it 2-3 times and then you move on. Maybe if you've animated a run, for example, a lot. Okay. So next we're going to add the down position on frame number 2. Again, only adding the head, and then we're flipping back and forth to sketch it. And also maybe just from a viewer perspective, is it confusing if I'm doing the other positions with back and forth? Is it too much flicking? Now I even forgot the right word. Or is it easier to watch if I'm using the onion skin? Let me know in the chat. Or if you have experience animating and what method you prefer. Also interesting to know. So this leg now is bending here and going down. This leg is coming here. T. So that looks good, I would say. I could work more on this foot. It's not the most beautiful foot of this world, but it looks okay. So what is the arm doing? The arm is coming here down a little bit. And opening up here. That looks good. And the other arm is doing almost the same thing. Also coming down here a little bit. And also the angle opens up. So we have down position on frame number 2. No. Let's add the position where both feet are in the air. Again, we would only adding the head. We like here. And then we're doing it by flipping. And now this leg here going in the air. Like that. It's super extreme here. So we definitely have a more comic version of a run. And I think in the animated survival kit on the next page is a more realistic one. So he's jumping in the air. And it looks fun. Cool. So here we have frame number 5. And it looks fun. Cool. Let's compare it to the one before. Totally different feeling. Cool. Let me know what you think if you have any question. And we're moving on with, I would say I would add one more in between here on frame number 6. Just out of curiosity. And we're doing it again by flipping back and forth. The arm looks okay. And for this part, I'm using quickly the onion skin, especially for an in-between. It just makes the life a little bit more easy. The in-between could have been sketched a little bit more clean, but it's okay if the movement in general is working. And we have that animation coming together. That first half of the one cycle. Cool. So let's see what we're going to do to continue. Let's try this one. And if you have any question, let me know in the chat. We're going to animate now. I think it's a run cycle with less positions. And also running in the other direction. So we're sketching the first position. Here we're starting with the down position. Let's see if it's going to work. Indicating the hips, having the body leaning forward. And we have here both feet off the ground. Like that. Let's clean it up here a little bit so it's not so confusing. What is happening here? So this arm here is in front of the body. And also this leg here is in front. It's quickly indicated with some lines. So we have the down position where we're starting in this animation. Curious to see if it's going to work. And I think it's also could be too much up. Let's also directly to the other down position on frame 5 and just switching what's in front and what's behind the body. So this one is in front this time. And this one here is behind. And the other arm is visible here. So let's place it on frame number 5. And we position the passing position on frame number 3. And going more up. Is that angle's working? I think so. And this one will be straight. Clean it up so it's easier to understand what's in front and what's behind. This arm is going there, and the other arm is going here to the front. Looks like a fun animation. So we have on frame 3 the passing position. Now let's add on frame number 2 the next one. In between these two. And the leg is going somewhere between here and here. Maybe like that. Now the other foot will have contact to the ground. And then move backwards and get straight there. That looks good for both feet, I would say. So, and that's also cool to sometimes not only always rely on the onion skin, but when animating, flipping back and forth and looking at the leg you want to animate and see which motion feels right, and then sketching it, going back, sketching it again. Oh no, doesn't feel right, maybe changing the angle. So that helps a lot to figure out how the motion could look right. So I think we forgot the arms here. So they're coming somewhere in between here. Okay, and the other arm. It's coming a little bit to the front. Cool. So we have frame number 2 here. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And one more, and that's it for this one. And that's also cool for running animations. You can finish one with way less more drawings. So let's do number 4. Putting their head here in between. Setting up the body. Somewhere here. And the leg goes in between this leg and this leg to complete that motion. So that looks okay, not perfect, but okay. What is the other arm doing? It's coming to the front, so let's place it there. That works okay, and the other arm goes also back. Cool. So that's the run. And I think especially this one looks okay for now, but also completing it. So sketching out the second half of this one cycle. But for practice sake, I would say to finish one cycle, it would just be duplicating the layers and going over it. For practice, now I would say it's okay to just sketch the first half. Cool. So I will do again a quick break and then we'll be back. I think, let's see if I'm animating more or if we react to some content, animation content. Let's see. Do a quick break, 5, maximum 10 minutes, I think. And then see you in a second. Thanks for watching so far. If you have any question, let me know in the chat. See you. And we're back! So, let's see where we left off. That was a running animation. Super fun. That one we did before. Before one we did that. So, fun session. I would say now I'm switching and I wanted to react a little bit to content. Let's see, I don't know what exactly is expecting us here, but we will see in a second. I think it's like a little behind the scene of an animation studio. Maybe we can learn a little bit from it. Quickly check if it's okay with the sound. I'm not sure. I don't think so, so let's watch it muted. But maybe even muted can give some cool insights. Can also then leave that here in the background. It's cool also that it's animated with pen on paper. That's so fascinating. That's also like the flipping I mentioned a second ago. So it's coming from traditional animation. That's so fascinating to see such beautiful craft. And then that flipping to check if the animation is working. And also that it's so consistent in terms of proportions. Oh, that's now interesting to see the result. To see the corrections. Oh, that's interesting. That with these key drawings. Yeah, here it's more a little bit more speed up. It's working great. Oh yeah, that foot is going up here. And for me, it looks like just it's so much more work to see it done traditionally like that. I could imagine if you have a good workflow and you're doing it over years, that at some point you also fast animating like that traditionally, but only from learning it digitally, it looks like so much work. It's so cool to see. Now it's even more cleaned up. Also, what's if we go back and forth frame by frame, all the things that are happening here. So she's firing something like here, like a magic fireball or something like that. And from this frame to this frame, we have that circle here that is expanding. So here it's bigger. Then also the hairs from the blow here goes a little bit to the right. And also the fabric here, everything is moving. Then we have the next frame where we have that C shape here, S shape, C shape. And the hairs moving again in the other direction. And now it's counting here to go in that direction. We have the blow in that direction and then going back. And now here the head is going down. The fabric here is falling down. And she gets, I think she gets attacked here. And is surprised by it. The foot is also moving more closely here. In frame 5. So we are 5 frames in here. Then frame 6. She's dodging it. This is going. Her body's moving down, but the rest of the body is moving up. Then she's looking down here. Again, we have a C shape. The fabric is moving a little bit up. Also, the hair here is moving up. Frame 7. And then frame up again, looking up and going up. And positioning is going up, but the hair is pointing down. And she gets another attack. Is seeing it, so the eyes are on the ball there, and is also dodging it, and almost falling over. And we are in frame 12 here, frame 13. Now here trying to not fall down, and now starting an attack from herself. And again this here. And we have that nice movement here. That's cool to see. A lot of things happening in that animation. But if we're going step by step through it, frame by frame, we can analyzing what's happening. And it's called Nokoshi here. The start of animation. Cool. I would say we are going to continue to watch it and analyzing animation from it next time. I think I want also to check this one. Let's see if we would have sound problems here. Not sure about that.
Just recently, the One Piece anime finally began the long-awaited final saga, episode 1015 of One Piece. The episode that I think most people will agree is...
And I would also have to say, like, if you don't want to get spoiled, any spoiler in One Piece, it's probably the time to watch something else.
Episode that has aired in the history of One Piece's entire run. This episode is absolute perfection in every possible way, and the main reason that it was perfection was because of a director named Megumi Ishitani. Now, this being years later, I'm pretty sure most people already know who Megumi Ishitani is by now, but in the off chance that you don't, she is basically an absolute prodigy in directorial talent and got her start under the mentorship of people within Toei. She ended up being so good at her job that she got her official director debut on the series finale of Dragon Ball Super, and then she went on to direct 3 of the most beloved and well-crafted episodes of One Piece, ironically becoming one of the most well-known anime directors in the community without a single actual big project under her name. And it's this talent, Megumi Ishitani, who has just brought us arguably the crown jewel of her portfolio of work so far. To call this opening well-directed would be an understatement and offense that I would goddamn slap myself for. This is a masterpiece of such proportions that I honestly don't even know exactly where to begin describing it. The color choices and aesthetic, the unbelievable flow from shot to shot, the sheer genius in the idea.
Yeah, the opening is so good crafted. I also analyzed it yesterday a little bit. The colors.
I mean, who thinks of shots like this? Who thinks of having
super creative.
Here's a video game selection screen on top of his head. Who thinks of having these 5 different fights overlapping into one continuous shot? Who thinks of showing the Straw Hats literally walking across the arcs of the series with their outfits changing in real time to the respective environment below them as a way of visualizing them literally entering this final saga?
Super creative. And then we get advertising. Of course. And we finally made it. Okay, we're back in the video.
Unparalleled as a mastermind of not only conceptualizing these incredible strokes of art, but actually having the skill and
super interesting
to bring them to life. And that brings us to another side of Ishitani that is just as important when it comes to how alive all of her works end up feeling, and how goddamn excellent this opening is. And that is her ability as a storyboard artist. Now, if you don't know what that means, imagine storyboards like the pre-visualization of what the final product will be. You're not actually animating all of these final scenes, but you're drawing key images that tell animators what those scenes are ultimately supposed to look like. You're showing them how those shots are framed, you're showing them how the characters move within them, you're showing how the...
I like the video, but it would be actually more interesting to see real storyboard work from her. I'm not sure if it's shown here.
Storyboards do not usually look like this.
It's like a little bit more explains the whole process.
Coloring in her work so deeply that she literally draws it into her very storyboards. This is not a common thing, and yet it shows how far she's willing to go to really capture whatever mood.
Yeah, but it's such a cool opening. Okay. Cool. I would say I will end the stream today and going to continue these studies tomorrow. Was a fun stream. 1 hour 35 minutes live, also included little pauses. But yeah, learned also today more about one cycles, get more practice in. It was more like a practice session to get a little bit more confident with walk cycles. But nevertheless, was a good repetition sessions. If you have any question, I will upload the highlights on my socials. You can also write in there in the comments if you have any questions or observation or feedback. I would love to hear that. And thank you everyone for joining in the stream, and hopefully see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Bye.